everybody. These two videos are videos that I really did not want to make. I thought for a long time, where should I create them from? Do I go outside? Do I sit at my desk? What do I do? And in the end, I figured, you know what? Let me just create them from my bike on Zwift, because that's where this all started, and that's where I'm the most comfortable being. So this is a series of two videos about why I haven't been making videos for the last year or so. So here's part one. This video is long overdue. I just couldn't bring myself to make this video until now. But to get to the point, Morgan passed away last November 30th, 2022. It was very unexpected. I went to work in the morning. That night I didn't have her anymore. Many of you have reached out to me, seen me on rides, and have asked me, hey, haven't seen a video, how's the coach doing, and things like that. It happens a lot. Many of you have reached me in other ways to ask me why no videos have come out. So I apologize. I should have put this out a long time ago. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'm going to try to hold it together for this. It's been almost a year and it still feels like it happened yesterday. I went to work in the morning. She seemed fine. She went outside and ate some grass, but I didn't think anything of it. I came home at lunchtime. She was sleeping like she normally does. She went out, she came in, she was fine. So when I came home that night after work, there was poop on the floor in here in the bike room. And I figured, well, she didn't want to go outside because it was raining, so that's not a problem. I'll just clean it up. And I saw her lying by my treadmill, and I scratched her head and I said, it's okay, I'll clean it up. Mommy, clean it up. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't get upset. Then a little while later, she moved from there to behind the trainer. I thought that was odd. She never laid there, and Brian would not let her out of his sight. He followed her, stayed with her, and I was like, something's wrong. And then she came up and got in the kitchen and laid herself at my feet, and her arms were splayed out. I don't know why I took these pictures, but I did. And at the time she was on the kitchen floor, I knew. I just said right out loud, I said, oh my God, she's dying. I don't know why, but she's dying. And she was dead a short while later. I had to make the decision, do I take the chance and drive her to the emergency vet a half an hour away and have her die alone in the back of my car? Or do I just hold her until she dies? So I picked her up and put her on the bedroom floor, and Brian, again, would not leave her side. Then I picked her up and put her on the bed and held her until she took her last breath. And she was gone. I wrapped her in a comforter and put her on the floor, and Brian went, sat right by her for a while. I was in shock. I was in absolute shock. She was only 10. She had just been checked out by the vet. In fact, when I talked to the vet said, what did I miss? What could I have missed? There was nothing. We even did blood work on her. She had had a minor surgery. I was not able to think very clearly, but I put a message out on Facebook that she had passed away. I got responses from all over the world, hundreds of people telling me how Morgan had touched their lives. Everybody loved her. Everybody thought she was adorable and had the most expressive faces, and she loved everyone. So all I could do that morning was make sure work knew I was not coming in. And then I lifted her up in the blanket, and I put her in the back of my car and talked to her all the way there to the vet. And the only thing I am kicking myself over is, at the time, why didn't I think to ask them to do an autopsy? I have no idea what she died from. I don't know. And it drives me crazy sometimes, but there's nothing I can do now. One of the techs that went out to get her, I was watching her, she lifted the back of my car where she was. It's a Kia Soul, so it has a hatchback. She wasn't in the trunk, she was in the back of the car. The tech picked her up and held her so gently, and as she was walking into the building, held her close to her and put her chin over her head. Brian was very upset, and he moped around for about a week, and he was lost. And then all of a sudden I started seeing a change in him. He started doing things that Morgan did that he never did before. Like when I came home from work, he would never be at the door. Now he was at the door. He meets me every time I come in. He would sit at the window and see Morgan going out in the little fenced-in area I have out there. And she would be out there for 15, 20 minutes, and he would come in, and she would come in. And one day I was just sitting out there, and Brian could feel him pawing at the door, and I opened the door with me out there. And I wasn't worried because he's not a runner and he's not a jumper. He's afraid of heights. What did he do? He starts walking around the backyard, and in 20 minutes he was ready to come in. This is what we do every sunny day. I'm in the shower, I get out of the shower, open the door, Brian's sitting there right by the door, just like Morgan used to. There's still a gaping hole in my life. I don't think I'll ever be the same. I knew I had to make this video because a lot of you still don't know. You just know that I haven't put any videos out. Margaret and Drychuk I had asked her the next day, can you go, I have to make a video. Can you go through the videos to see Morgan's greatest hits kind of thing? Her response was, I thought you'd never ask. And later on that day, I had a list. I never have been able to make that video yet, and to be able to go through all those moments, I know they're there, and I have the list, and someday I'll do it. But right now, I still can't do it. I know she's here sometimes. I know it sounds crazy to some of you, but Brian is not a runner. He's not very vocal at all. He's a big guy, and he starts meowing out of nowhere. He has this tiny little meow. He'll start meowing at the air. There was nothing there. I live in a ranch house. There's no second floor, but he was there talking to somebody by the bikes. So I don't know. I don't know if that was Morgan's goodbye when she was lying behind the trainer, because she knew that was, one of our big connections. I don't know. I don't know a lot. All I know is that I was blessed to have this dog for 10 years. I am extremely blessed to have so much video of her. The channel will go on. I don't think there will ever be another head coach. And Brian, or ACB as Margaret named him, and assistant coach Brian, ACB, and the name stuck, and Brian is going to stay being ACB, and maybe he gets advice from her on the other side. I don't know, but there will be guest appearances by some people that he may have hired, but Brian will be back. You'll be seeing him, and I will start up again as soon as other things in my life are taken care of. I just wanted to thank you all so much. Those of you who reached out, I can't thank you enough for supporting the channel and for being here for the three of us. And I thank God for Zwift. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you so much.